This may look like the finale of the hunt. The lioness tightens her grip on the antelope's throat and begins dragging the prey towards the den. However, the cunning hoofed animal is only pretending to be injured. The lioness prematurely believed in her victory and loosened her grip. In a crucial moment, the antelope performs an incredible trick, twisting to stand up from a lying position, all while the lioness continues to squeeze its throat. The predatory cat did not expect this. It tried to bring down the hoofed animal again, but the antelope found a second wind. It turns the tables on the lioness, tossing the enemy off its back. Even while lying on the ground right under the herbivore's hooves, the lioness attempted to strangle the antelope, but she had to release the prey and hide in the bushes. Today we will show you other instances where predators underestimated their opponents and paid the price. A lioness ambushed a zebra suddenly and was able to catch the fleeing prey when she received a devastating blow straight to her chest. The zebra kicked the huntress during her jump. The force of the hoof strike was so immense that the lioness's flight was cut short and she crashed to the ground. It's curious, did she survive that at all? Here, a lioness tried to sneak up on a small Thompson's gazelle, thinking that it wouldn't offer much resistance. The sand-colored fur and the ability to stalk closely with bent legs allowed the predatory cat to approach the prey very closely and make a beautiful, decisive leap. But the lioness didn't know who she was messing with. The Thompson's gazelle is one of the fastest animals in the world. The hoofed animal had just a fraction of a moment to gain the necessary speed, but it effortlessly evaded the lioness's grasp, then sharply veered away, completely breaking free and escaping. The lioness had no chance. A leopard cautiously approached warthogs, intending to pounce on one of them at the decisive moment. The cat wanted to catch the hoofed animals off guard, seized the target's throat while the others scattered in panic. But the leopard didn't know who it was dealing with. It was noticed just a moment before the leap, but the warthogs did something that the predator did not expect. One of them ran straight at the panther, saving its mate, and knocked the predator to the ground with a powerful strike. The agile leopard immediately jumped up, yet injured from the encounter from the tusked opponent, the predator couldn't run particularly fast. The furious warthogs didn't let go of the enemy. They caught up with it, and 3 of them attacked the predator, trampling it in the dust. Their fierce blows dealt serious damage to the panther. Only at the last moment did the leopard manage to leap over the adversaries. Even then, the warthogs tried to reach the predator right in the air. If they had knocked it to the ground, they would have surely finished it off. Fortunately, the leopard's quick reaction speed allowed it to evade fatal blows, escape the encirclement, and flee. It managed to survive, but this will be a lesson for the predator. One should not underestimate warthogs, which, to protect their family members, are willing to be the first to attack a powerful predator. Such devotion to family really deserves your like, does it not? A young, inexperienced yet quite strong lion, together with a more seasoned lioness, decided to attack a whole herd of hoofed animals. Probably, if they were dealing with zebras or wildebeests, their plan would have succeeded. However, the young lions went after buffaloes and underestimated their opponents when they chose a direct confrontation. Initially, they sneaked up on the herbivores, but then leaped out of the tall grass and rushed at them together. The predators tried to sow panic among the hoofed animals and attack the fleeing ones from behind. This was the only way to nullify the numerical advantage of the opponent. But the bulls turned towards the panthers with their faces and acted against the enemies as one. Initially, the hoofed animals stood their ground, and the lions assumed that the sudden appearance of predators would make the bulls freeze in place. So the inexperienced cats continued the attack. However, as soon as the lions approached close enough, the buffaloes launched a furious counterattack. A lion's weight can reach 1/4 of a ton, but the young cats are much lighter. They already possess considerable strength, But even one bull is approximately 3 times more massive and stronger than each of the predators. And when the bulls attack together, the lions have no chance of success. Now they need to think about their own survival. A swift charge from the buffalo made the lions recoil, as if frightened school children. Underestimating the bravery of these buffaloes was a mistake. The lions still tried to assess the situation, hoping to attack some particularly audacious bull from the side. But the buffaloes left no chance for success. The lions had to retreat. After a prolonged and exhausting chase, a pack of 14 wolves finally managed to bring down a massive deer. However, the gray predators didn't really know whose territory they were amusing themselves on. A huge brown bear weighing just under half a ton emerged from the bushes to reclaim the prey from the competitors. The pack engaged with the wrong opponent. The bear acted impressively assertive. It immediately pounced on the deer, overturned it, and started his lunge. The wolves were shocked by such audacity, but they hesitated to attack. They were tired, and the bear wisely showed no aggression towards them. It moved forcefully on purpose, demonstrating its strength but not really posing a threat to the pack. The bear seemed to be collecting a toll. The wolves had no choice but to let him have their prey if they didn't want to fight with an unpredictable outcome. It's a pity for all their efforts, of course, but the bear's ability to navigate the situation deserves respect, and your like as well, doesn't it? Here the wolves play the role of robbers. Let's give credit where credit's due. Attacking only in pairs against 2 hungry grizzlies right in the middle of the giant predators' meal was bold. Or foolish. It depends on the perspective. In any case, the wolves elegantly swooped down on their opponents, suddenly descending from the slope. However, the unexpected appearance of the wolves didn't deter the bears. They stood their ground against the attackers. A real positional struggle began here. The task for the smaller predators was to rely on endurance and to provoke aggression from the bears. Larger and stronger, the bears only yielded to their opponents in endurance. Beating the bears and scaring them away from the meat could only be achieved by luring them into a chase and then swiftly counter-attacking. The wolves began to implement their plan. They teased the bears, irritated them, provoked them, drove them away from their prey, and made feigned attacks. The giant bears nonetheless didn't fall for the provocations and acted much more calculatedly than their enemies would have preferred. The bears powerfully responded to every attack, drove away the wolves, chased them, but never strayed far from their prey. They didn't allow themselves to be drawn into an exhausting long chase and always returned to their partner. Wolves are known for their intelligence, but underestimating the intellect of bears was honestly a mistake. These enormous beasts deciphered the cunning of the wolves and defended the found prey. The wolves had to retreat. They realized that with each feigned attack, they only got closer to the enemy and were at a greater risk of exposing themselves to the devastating blow of a bear's paw. If you think the bears always prevail over wolves regardless of the wolves' numerical advantage, then you are mistaken. Here, a huge grizzly bear roamed on the territory of a pack of very bold wolves in search of food. They noticed the competitor and were the first to rush into battle. The bear, in rage, gave a determined resistance to the wolves, but they demonstrated cunning. The bear broke free from the encirclement, scattering the wolves who dodged his powerful strikes, forcing them to just constantly maneuver. This way, the bear managed to avoid being trapped. However, the enormous predator underestimated its clever opponents. The wolves attacked the bear again and turned his favorite fighting tactic against the giant himself. The bear would break free from the encirclement, attacking one wolf or another. When the grizzly lunged at a member of the pack, that wolf would run straight, luring the bear to follow. The other wolves immediately attacked the bear's back. He tried to fend off the attack, but the situation repeated. The wolves sought a gap in the grizzly's defense, waited for him to make a mistake and moved too slowly to turn for a strike, exposing his paw, back, or face to the opponent's fangs. Wolves are incredibly enduring and can afford to be patient. The bear understood this, but could do nothing about it. When he stood still, he was attacked from different sides. When he broke free from the encirclement, they immediately pounced on his back. He couldn't catch even one wolf. Finally, the constant wolf attacks pushed the bear to the brink of panic, and he began to run with all his remaining strength. Even the wolves don't finish him off. He won't appear on their territory ever again. A massive buffalo chases a lion as if a greyhound chases a rabbit. The powerful male lion runs away in shock. Judging by the surprise on the predator's face, he can't believe the audacity of the prey. But he has to run away because the buffalo is twice as massive as even an adult and strong lion. If the hoofed animal catches the enemy at this speed, it will knock him to the ground and trample him. Perhaps the lion would survive such a trouncing, but risking it during a hunt is not beneficial. The lion runs away right in front of the other members of his hunting group. It turns out that this was not the last fit of rage before the fatal end for the buffalo, but its cunning plan. Predators surrounded it, then gradually began to tighten the circle. Sooner or later, one or two predators would leap onto the bear's back, and another would grab him by the throat, ending the battle. But instead of that, the hoofed animal gathered courage and employed the best defense tactic he had, which was a furious counterattack. A ramming attack on the lion and the predator's escape allowed the herbivore to break out of the encirclement before the other predators realized what had even happened. It was not worth underestimating its aggression and cunning. When the buffalo found itself out of reach of the lioness, it immediately stopped and began to retreat. It didn't plan to fight the lion, but simply broke free from the siege. Now it all depends on the speed of its run. Of course, escaping is also risky, but its family members are not far away. If it manages to return to them, the buffalo will be saved. So let's wish it luck. Even if you usually root for predators, you've got to agree that such composure, endurance, and courage from an herbivore deserve respect, don't they? A lone hyena noticed a family of buffaloes. The predatory animal couldn't count on victory even over a very young calf when both of its enormous and powerful parents were nearby. It seems like the father and mother are calming the baby so that it doesn't worry. But under the intense gaze of the hyena, anyone would feel uneasy. Moreover, there is a risk that the hyena is just waiting for the other members of the pack to arrive for a joint strike. However, they could repel the calf and deal with it. So the male decides to strike at the hyena. Perhaps he simply doesn't like it when someone's staring at his little one like it's lunch. In any case, the predator underestimated the determination of the hoofed animals. The bull charged the hyena in a frontal attack, and the hunter had to save its life. It's challenging to find an animal that looks as alien and cosmetic as the pangolin. This remarkable mammal has an elongated snout, an elongated rounded body with large beautiful scales, and a long tongue. It can also stand on its hind legs for a while, pulling its front legs close to the body to grasp its prey. Thanks to its tongue, the pangolin can feed on termites, ants, and other insects. Moreover, it excels defending itself against predators, relying on exceptional passive protection. When an enemy approaches, the pangolin curls up into a ball, transforming into a small, armored sphere. The sharp scales, which normally protrude upward and backward, close over each other like an impenetrable chainmail. A lioness didn't know what she was dealing with when she pounced on this little cutie. The pangolin instantly assumes a defensive position, becoming practically invulnerable. Even though the lioness is at least 10 times more massive, with the advantages of an experienced huntress, sharp retractable claws and powerful jaws armed with fangs, the pangolin really couldn't care less. It calmly waits until the lioness gets tired of this game and just goes about her business. The predator's experience, combat skills, and strength are irrelevant. The pangolin's armor withstands blows and prolonged sieges, resisting persistent attempts by another, more experienced lioness to pry the prey out of its shell. Perhaps an especially large male lion could hope for success, but only after an entire hour of effort. Why would a predator exert so much energy on such a small animal? In the end, the pangolin successfully repels the carnivorous opponent. A close relative of the pangolin is the armadillo. Overall, these animals are somewhat similar, but while the pangolin's armor resembles chainmail with individual scales, the armadillo is covered with a continuous, incredibly tough armor that spans its head, back, and tail in separate segments. When the creature senses danger, it transforms into a ball. Moreover, it takes such a perfect spherical shape that it can even roll along the ground. The agility and speed with which the armadillo assumes a defensive position are astonishing. One has to use slow motion filming mode to examine the details. Note that although the creature seems sluggish and incapable of acrobatics during its signature move, it powerfully propels itself off the ground and curls into a ball in midair. Catching it off guard is nearly impossible. Nature researchers were shocked when they witnessed this amazing situation. A large predatory bird swooped down on the armadillo from above. The eagle employed its signature tactic of a powerful dive. The controlled descent acceleration significantly enhanced the already strong and long talons of the bird. But thanks to this attack, the eagle could, in one motion, break the spine, rip open the belly, or snap the neck of a large rodent that is more than twice as massive as the bird. But when the eagle wanted to test its tactic on the armadillo, it did not know what it was dealing with. The bird lunged at the armadillo, but even the powerful sharp talons couldn't penetrate the opponent's armor. It seems like the curled up little one emerged from the encounter without any injuries. Then something unexpected happened. On the ground, the eagle tried to breach the prey's defense, which hadn't retaliated at all. The aggressive bird interpreted this as a sign of weakness and wanted to finish off the prey not with speed, but with force. What an unpleasant surprise awaited the eagle when its talons slipped between the still curled legs of the armadillo and the creature snapped the trap shut. The bird found itself in a bind. Its talon was trapped between the limbs of the still curled armadillo, which had literally turned into a ball around it. Unable to stand on the second leg, the eagle simply fell on its tail. It couldn't use its beak to break the defense, free one leg, or effectively use the second one. Taking off with such a load was also impossible. In the end, researchers approached the utterly helpless bird and spread its wings to roughly estimate the predator's size. The enraged eagle couldn't do anything about it. If instead of humans, a regular cat had approached the enraged opponents, it could have eaten the eagle while the armadillo still patiently held the enemy in its embrace. As you can see, an exclusively effective defensive tactic can be dangerous even without counterattacks. Armadillos and pangolins have another relative which shares many bodily structure similarities with them. For instance, it has a similar head shape, but instead of developed jaws like the pangolin, this animal is armed with a long, flexible, and sticky tongue for hunting insects. Meet the Anteater. Do agree that this animal also looks pretty unusual. However, unlike its distant relatives, the Anteater doesn't focus on defense at all. On the contrary, when a predator is nearby, the Anteater switches to aggressive attacking actions. Pretty surprising, isn't it? Even a jaguar didn't expect such boldness from a typical termite hunter. However, when the Anteater senses danger, it doesn't try to escape or wait at all. Instead, the creature stands on its hind legs, presses its elongated snout to its chest, and spreads its powerful front legs to the sides. When dealing with small ants, which in this position are knee-high to an adult human, this behavior may seem incredibly cute. But believe me, this is a much more dangerous animal than most predators think. With its curved claws fused into one huge sickle, the anteater digs the ground in search of insect larvae, making its front limbs resemble a bulldozer shovel. Thanks to constant training and digging hard soil, the anteater strikes possesses monstrous force. One successful hit can break the ribs or a leg of a large predator, knock it away, stun it, or even break its neck. Such frenzied and aggressive resistance is not what spotted panthers can expect. Moreover, the defensive posture of the animal should not be underestimated. Of course, it may seem to us that an offended anteater just wants some hugs. But in reality, the lowered head covers the throat, and the forward-facing front limbs are ready to deliver a signature slanting blow from top to bottom. Then the creature's claws act like a real scythe, tearing through the opponent's skin and exposing blood vessels. Although, unlike the pangolin and armadillo, the anteater's skin is covered with fur, this doesn't make our hero vulnerable. When hunting insects, it experiences hundreds or even thousands of their bites, so it has a high pain threshold, excellent resilience and endurance, as well as a tough skin. Moreover, the animal's dense fur is very stiff and can provide decent protection against claws due to its length. The anteater's defensive stance lacks mobility. It simply stands there in one place and rotates to prevent anyone from approaching from behind. However, this resilience allows it to focus all attention on the opponent and counterattack before a more massive carnivorous beast manages to bring the anteater to the ground. Additionally, the anteater can constantly change stances, drop to all fours, maneuver, distract the enemy with its huge tail. This nocturnal encounter between the panther and the enormous anteater unexpectedly became a severe test for the predator. Several times it was on the brink of death, narrowly avoiding the terrifying and sharp blows from the prey in the last moment. Underestimating the anteater is not advisable. Of course, if the predator is more than 3 times larger, the anteater won't withstand. But when it comes to giant specimens as long as young jaguars, even the largest hunters find themselves retreating from the fierce resistance of this strange and mighty creature. Which case where predators faced the unexpected opponent from today impressed you the most? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. That way you'll be the first to witness the most amazing confrontations between different animal species in the world of nature.